Greetings, my name is Ian and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, Jethro Tull fans are eating well in 2026 as I just saw that the J-Tull.com box set has been announced courtesy of Burning Shed. So there are a couple of different variants here. We have two different vinyl variants, the Coke Bottle Green variant, as well as the solid black variant, 2 LP set. Here's the one that interests me the most. This is the CD/Blu-ray set. The subtitle for this is Another Cast of the Net, continuing Ian Anderson's punny subtitles for these Jethro Tull box sets, like Under Wraps, the Unwrapped edition. Anyway, here's the cover design, which is about what I expected. It is obviously the UK cover, not the censored US cover, which is what I'm used to. So that's always a good sign. So let's take a look at what's included. So here it says, this is a limited 3 CD/1 Blu-ray set featuring the original mix, Bruce Sword's 2026 remix in stereo, and a third disc of bonus material comprised of 6 unreleased studio tracks and 3 live recordings taken from the band's 2000 tour. The Blu-ray also includes Bruce Sword's Dolby Atmos 5.1 and 24-bit stereo mixes of the album, plus 24-bit stereo mixes of the bonus studio material. It also comes with a 36-page booklet, including extensive liner notes by Martin Webb of A New Day magazine. So looking at the track list, here's the bonus material. Perhaps of greatest interest to me is the track It All Trickles Down, which was originally released as a B-side to the Bends Like a Willow single, and is one of the Tull items that has most evaded me over the years. I do not own a copy of this song on any release whatsoever. I've only heard it on streaming services like YouTube, where people have uploaded really, in my opinion, poor quality versions of this track. And it's a very interesting track. It's kind of like a little like Captain Beefheart and the Magic Band in places, or even Procol Harum and a song like Pandora's Box. But it's the odd Tull, and I love an odd Tull track, let me tell you. So it's really exciting to me that this is being included. Now, the Blu-ray indicates that the bonus tracks are in stereo only, so that's somewhat disappointing. I was hoping that the bonus tracks would be presented in multi-channel like on prior releases, but glad to have them. We also get the Secret Language of Birds 2026 remix, which is an interesting inclusion because that track was included as a hidden track on the original release. But I was rather hoping that JTull.com box set would follow in the example of the Under Wraps box set and include Ian Anderson's relevant solo album, which would have been The Secret Language of Birds. Is this an indication that maybe we might get a Dolby Atmos edition or box set of Secret Language of Birds? I certainly hope so, because that's my favorite Ian Anderson solo album. And Walk in Delight was just great. It was a great Atmos mix. So I really hope that this box sells well enough that they do consider doing The Secret Language of Birds at some point. However, here's a look at the live tracks. I know some people are disappointed that it's not a complete show, which I understand, but we do get huntbynumbers.com and Absent Without Leave. So it's better than nothing. Now, I know that some people were raised concerns because Ian Anderson said that there was something like 17 extra tracks with this release on a YouTube interview that he did. And it makes me wonder if some of these tracks that aren't in the running order were instrumental backing tracks only, because it seems like Ian Anderson's not comfortable with releasing tracks that don't have vocals or lyrics, which makes a lot of sense. And you may remember that there's instrumental demos on the Under Wraps set, which are kind of hidden in plain sight on the Blu-ray menu, but they're not listed in the packaging or any of the press releases. So it's possible that we have another situation like that here, but we're going to have to wait, I guess, until the box comes out to know for sure. So there is a sample track. There's a preview track available, the opening cut of the album Spiral. And I did give it a listen. And you can actually stream it if you have Apple Music and an Apple TV, or if you can connect like a MacBook via HDMI to your receiver. You can actually hear that Spiral remix in Dolby Atmos. And I think it sounds incredible. What I noticed right off the bat, comparing it to the original 1999 release, is that Bruce Sword has really brought the rhythm section forward. I remember in the Living with the Past DVD that Jonathan Noyes talks about how he prefers to be felt, not heard. Jonathan Noyes, of course, the band's bass player at the time, but he considered himself stealth. And for the first time, I can actually very clearly hear what Jonathan Noyes is playing. And I got to admit, he was never one of my favorite Jethro Tull bassists, but just being able to hear him better, I really appreciate what he brought to this lineup in this period. Also, I noticed that Doane Perry's drums are a lot more prominent and have a less, I guess, toppy sound to them and a much more full and muscular sound in these new mixes. Now, I did notice that the stereo mix is a little bit compressed. It's a little bit limited. The cymbals sound a little splashy, maybe to my ears, but in the Dolby Atmos mix, they sound very natural. They sound correct to me. I also noticed some really interesting panning of the flute. Like it opens with kind of a flute flourish that starts from the back and then hits the front array. As usual, Ian Anderson's vocals are kind of spread all around. Steven Wilson usually likes to put vocals in the center, but I've noticed that Bruce really likes to spread vocals around in the front array, and it works really well for this material. I noticed Andy Giddings' keyboards kind of rolling around. It's a very subtle mix. It's not as adventurous as Under Wraps, but I feel like this more restrained approach fits this material better because this is kind of a back to basics rock album. And like, for instance, I noticed that Andy Giddings' organ sounds a lot like John Evans' 1972 Hammond sound. And there's some moments here that really do recall Thick as a Brick to me. I also noticed that there's a moment where the drums sound like they're in a box or something like that. And I think it's after the guitar solo. And I noticed that those drums were kind of like poking out on every corner. And in the stereo mix, they're much more subdued. In the Atmos mix, that little drum part becomes more of a feature. And I really appreciated that. Like, I appreciate all these little subtle moments that Bruce is able to bring to the Atmos presentation. So I'm really excited to hear the rest of the record. This is one of the, this is one of the earliest Jethro Tull albums to come out during my lifetime. Let me say that. And I remember it really well when it came out. And, seeing like the turn of the century graphics that are being used on some of the YouTube trailers for this album has given me such a warm sense of nostalgia for a simpler time. Obviously, this is an album that uses the internet as its kind of conceptual basis. And, the internet hasn't gone anywhere. It's, if anything, it's become more invasive. And it kind of takes me back to a simpler time, where you couldn't have a phone call and check the internet at the same time because of dial-up. And I'm just filled with a lot of warm feelings toward this recording. In my opinion, this is the last truly, great Jethro Tull album. I don't like the Christmas album or anything that followed nearly as much as this. So I think it's great. I think it's great this is coming out, and I've already got it pre-ordered. So you're going to have to let me know in the comments below what you think. Are you excited for this release? Are you planning to pre-order it? Are you looking forward to the extra tracks? Let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, As I said earlier, Jethro Tull fans are eating well in 2026 between this release and Under Wraps. But also, we are confirmed to be getting Atmos Blu-rays of the Aqualung and Warchild albums, possibly before the end of the year. So if you want to hear and see my reviews of the J-Tull.com box set, as well as the Warchild and Aqualung releases, you'll have to subscribe to the channel. And you're going to find that I talk about Jethro Tull a lot. I reviewed, I think, almost all of the box sets. There's a few yet that I still haven't covered, but you're going to find a lot of Jethro Tull content already existing on my channel and in the future. So yeah, let me know what you think, and you're going to hear from me really, really soon. All right, take care, everyone, and enjoy the new mix. All right, bye-bye.